Ever since I was a kid, I've wanted to design a message that is sent to outer space. A sort of hello from Earth to whatever extraterrestrials might be out there. I mean, come on, to be the author of the first thing aliens ever heard from our entire planet would be a fantastic honor. And as it turns out, an opportunity to send a message to space has been given to me. But it might be a waste of time. What if there isn't anything or anyone out there to receive it? The fact that we still have no evidence of intelligent alien life, despite the high probability that such life exists, is called the Fermi paradox. And there are many entertaining theories that attempt to explain it. One explanation is the theory that whenever two civilizations meet, destruction always results. Which is why, in 2015, several prominent experts wrote a letter warning against making any contact at all.
Encounters between civilizations with advanced versus primitive technology have gone badly for the less advanced. A civilization reading one of our messages could be billions of years ahead, and may not see us as any more valuable than we see bacteria.
Ideas like that suggest that perhaps we should remain silent, send no messages to space. But Doug Vakoch disagrees. He is the president of METI, an organization that, despite all of these concerns, is nonetheless actively messaging extraterrestrial intelligence. If I want to design a message for life out there, I should talk to him first. Why isn't he afraid? I met up with Doug at the Chabot Observatory, home to the largest public refractor telescope in the western United States.
So here we are.
Wow.
Yeah. This was one of the prime telescopes of a century ago. This is really an antique.
Jeez. I've seen so many observatories and so many big telescopes in pictures. Believe it or not, I've never been this close to one.
This is a huge instrument, and yet it's balanced so exquisitely.
I'm like a super
You're not
person.
exerting yourself.
Oh,
Yeah.
It had quite a bit of momentum
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I'm scared to look. I'm telling you, I had no idea I would have this feeling seeing a telescope
Well,
this big. It's like,
it is.
Can I handle what I would see?
I think you can. I think you can. You just take a look.
Uh-huh. Absolutely nothing.
Not tonight.
Because
no.
of the fog.
Because of the fog.
Just the fog coming in is pretty darn cool. The universe has existed longer than we have, but we've only been actively listening for life out there for the last half-century. In 1960, astronomer Frank Drake began the search with a 85-foot radio telescope. He scanned for interstellar radio waves, but did not detect any recognizable signals. Soon after, SETI, or Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, was formed to continue our search for other life in the universe. Besides just listening, we've also launched physical messages, like the Golden Records we put aboard both Voyager spacecraft in 1977. The records were recordings of images and sounds from Earth that told a story of who we are as Earthlings, as well as coded instructions on how to play them back. Today, Doug and his team at METI are on a mission to send new messages to the stars. Thank you for taking some time to have a conversation with me. My first question is simply this: where is everyone? Are we alone?
I don't think so. You know, we've been looking for over 60 years, and so that leads some people to say, we must be alone. The reality is, though, we have just begun the search. I mean, we've looked at a few tens of thousands of stars, and there are 400 billion stars in our galaxy alone, billions of galaxies in the universe. So I think
Have you ever thought, man, I'd really like to have a 3D scan of a pickle? Well, wait no longer, because I finally did it. I had such a great time using Creality's new hybrid 3D scanner that now has a super powerful blue laser mode that I started scanning everything. If you already have or think about owning a 3D scanner, then this is the right video for you, because I share 10 essential tips on how to get great scan results as well. Let's find out more. Guten Tag everybody, I'm Stefan and welcome to CNC Kitchen. For over a year now, I wanted to do one particular 3D scanning project, and when Creality recently reached out to sponsor a video using their brand new Raptor 3D scanner, I was super stoked. I love my studio, yet during summer it can get horribly hot in here due to the suboptimal roof insulation. I have a monoblock portable AC, yet it's one of these super inefficient one-hose units. So I wanted to convert this into a two-hose unit, yet not by slapping a couple of foam board panels around the condenser intake, but design a proper 3D printed air inlet. Since this is not all right angles and there are a couple of holes for the cover to grab into around, I thought this is a perfect opportunity to show how a 3D scanner is super useful for reverse engineering. So I unscrewed the intake screen and prepared the scanner for use. Have you ever used a 3D scanner for your project? What type did you use and what tips can you share for getting the best results? Please let us know in the comments.
Ancient constructs lurking in the dark, woven into shadows once their own.
The Creality Raptor is very different from their other scanner lineup and also other consumer-grade 3D scanners. It costs almost double as their other top-of-the-line structured light scanner, but it also comes with one unique feature. Creality calls it a hybrid scanner at a significantly lower price than other hybrid systems on the market. Hybrid because it can scan in the conventional near-infrared mode as well as in the usually way more expensive blue laser mode. I had a ton of joy using the scanner for this video and was blown away by the ease and details of scanning in laser mode. So thanks to Creality for sponsoring this video. If you were looking for more info, then check the links in the description. And I also uploaded a couple of scans so you can judge the quality yourself. Tip number 1, use the right technology. So the Creality Raptor has two modes, blue laser and near infrared. But what's the right mode and what's the difference between them? Let's start with the near-infrared mode, which works very similar to a Face ID camera on your iPhone by projecting points onto your model and triangulating their distance. Its biggest advantage is that you can do 3D scans without any tracking markers, because it stitches frames together using geometric features. Using markers is possible and usually the way more stable solution, but working without them is handy because you can scan objects without any preparation. Like for example when I scanned my Vespa for some repairs, or if you scan people. The CRScan Raptor has 3 different scan fields in NIR from 200mm to over 400mm in diagonal to easily scan small as well as big parts. The small scan field gives you more details and the bigger one speeds up the scanning process, and especially in geometry mode helps with tracking because more features are usually within one shot. The laser mode also has a scan field diagonal of around 20 centimeters, but due to the very thin laser lines that are projected, it captures significantly more details than the same scan field in near infrared mode, which becomes very obvious when we compare the two scans. Yet this comes at a cost. The laser mode requires that you use these retroreflective scanning points, and since the scan field is relatively small, you sometimes need a lot of them, especially at bigger parts. I've been using professional structured light scanners for many years, and one of the things I wanted to highlight in this video was surface preparation with contrast spray to get good results. Yet I was really blown away by the performance of the blue laser mode. I scanned a ton of different parts and never had to prepare them with scanning spray, even the machined aluminum part and parts with a lot of contrast. The quality of the results does improve if you spray them, but most of the time the step isn't necessary, which is a huge benefit of this technology. In the end, you always need to think about which mode is the right one for you. If you want to scan people or faces, NIR is the way to go. If you don't need to resolve very small details, NIR might still be the more efficient option due to the geometric tracking feature, yet if you want to scan very detailed parts, even if they are shiny metal, the laser mode is the way to go at the cost of the markers that you need to use. And whereas most other consumer 3D
What's that about?
All right, this is actually kind of fun. So, you guys remember Andrew Wilson, Mr. Can't Open a Pickle Jar?
Appreciate it.
He
What happened with him?
he got in a little thing with a girl named Charlie, who's some kind of debater. They had a 6-hour debate.
Your wife with the 3 baby.
What did I just say?
Your wife with the 3
Sorry,
baby
doll. I'm
daddies.
sorry.
He went on the PBD podcast and started talking about his little incident that went viral. So I first want to play this video for you.
I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know. But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator or I don't make good points or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think honestly you're too f***ing stupid to understand them.
So Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you You lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a
I still
fucking
think that's
dyke.
funny.
Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did I
daddies?
just say?
Your wife with the 3
Sorry,
baby
doll. I'm sorry. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to
Do the women that you try
show
to?
your hatred
Do
against
you the women that
like,
you try
convince them
to?
that they-
Now, for those watching who are like, what is schniz?
Well, I believe it's someone that's, snizzes the snatches.
Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
he's calling her a lesbian.
Yes.
We love those.
Yes. Amen.
Keep on calling her that.
they shouldn't.
You know,
like,
Charlie, did I
pursue
bring
women? Do they know
Charlie,
that
did
your
I bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your
You
family
called me
into
fucking
anything?
stupid.
Did I
You
say
called
anything
me
about
fucking
your
stupid.
family being stupid, Charlie?
could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed, and you know that the traditional values that you try to set.
Now, I just want you guys to remember this conversation, this section started with him calling her too stupid, too effing stupid
Too fucking
to
stupid.
understand.
So,
And then she didn't even insult his family. What she did was, hey, the way you carry your life, I'm not advocating for a position. She's saying it's incongruent with, and he went nuke.
yeah, you got heard. You got heard.
Tell people
Okay.
on our bullshit because
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional
Let's
man.
go through it, Chuck. Tell me what I'm doing which is immoral.
All right, now we need some context on this man because she said he's not a traditional man.
He's not.
And this goes back, okay? It all started with a good old pickle jar.
I'm supposed to open the pickle jar?
I'm fucking crying. Yeah, that shit happened to me.
I gotta grip it.
Uh-oh, Andrew. You can't
You need to clip that.
Andrew. That needs to be a sound clip. Andrew.
We get to watch an old clip of us. I'm gonna enjoy this. So this is happening on the Whatever podcast with our good friend Brian something. I hate him. I hate his podcast. This goober across from him is also an interesting character. Bro, I was so unbiased back then. But I guess they're having some kind of...
MMI, we expect the unexpected.
Thank God you were unbiased.
I think I glowed up just a little bit. You know?
Oh, jeez.
I do. This seems a little immature now. For
Hey, the guy
$1,000.
sent $1,000.
Yeah, but it seems slightly immature.
It's all fucking
It's just
slick
for,
now.
it's a little,
See, it
little fun.
is.
I gotta grip it.
Uh-oh, Andrew. If you can't open it either.
Well, your hand greased the whole top of it.
If you're so strong, you should open it.
Yeah, I gotta be able to grip it.
Okay, we'll grip it. Let's
It's
go.
literally slippery.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody says. Is this meaningful in the grand scale? No, but it means everything.
For them.
Grab me a paper towel so I can dry the top of it off.
Here,
Just
I'm going to
gotta
let
make
some
sure I-
chats
Hungry.
come in. Red Fox, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I can't grip the f***er.
You know, I always think that donating to Twitch streams is really retarded, but I will say, I would pay 10 grand if I knew this was going to happen.
Oh, 100%.
100. Like this is like a immortal moment. It doesn't matter what the f- Andrew ever does. This Picklegate will follow him forever.
Okay, now I want it to be.
I got
open. It's
this,
like pissing me
boys.
off.
Pisses me off.
Yeah,
Should we-
I know.
should
it's
we have
fine,
Jake
it's
try?
fine.
You'll see the same thing. It's
Come
just
on, bro.
greasy.
It is.
See? It's f***ing greasy. It
My
just
hand
slides
slides.
off.
Now that I'm watching this clip back, I don't think Brian tried.
No.
I think he's doing him a solid.
Yeah.
I think he's giving him a hand job under the table and being like, baby, I got you.
I got your back.
And he's
And
using
your
that
dick.
thing that he got in his hands to go, oh shit, it is slippery, bro. What the fuck, man?
You can't get your f***ing hand on it. Try it. No, you f***er. Oh, shit.
And the fucker that he said was not like, fucker, you got it and I didn't. It's, fucker, you didn't understand what I was trying to do here. You
Luke
come
Bryan.
here. You come here. You fucker, you didn't get it. You. That's what it
Why
was.
you acting like we didn't hook up? Now you gonna do me dirty like this?
Do it on the table if you can.
Oh shit!
Hey,
Hey, put it on the table. Put it on the table.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
He can't open it. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
this is such a pointless clip, but it's actually fucking funny.
Ain't no way.
And you know this is gonna haunt him forever.
EVE Online is a vast universe, alive with the unrelenting activity and combined history of its players. Pursuing lives of adventure, warfare, and prosperity, they share this existence in the biggest single shard, free-to-play MMO of all time.
Yes on Proposition 43 and outlaw the nuclear family once and for all.
Set 21,000 years in the future, EVE takes place in a distant cluster of over 7,000 star systems known as New Eden.
It's time for some real
It is a rich and diverse universe, featuring densely populated havens of relative safety, governed by 4 great empires. Hostile systems, where player alliances make the rules. Even regions of anomalous and unexplored space that hold their own secrets. You play as a Capsuleer, a revered breed of highly trained pilot, having achieved immortality through the use of cloning technology. You navigate the universe encased in an armored capsule deep within your ship, where you have complete neural control and function as one. There are hundreds of ships to fly in EVE. Everything from small, nimble craft and versatile mid-range vessels to formidable warships and colossal freighters. Each has advantages and suited roles, but all are completely customizable as you decide how to equip and arm them. What you do in New Eden is entirely up to you. Eve's immense sandbox gives you the opportunity to choose between multiple professions and activities. The key to this unique customization of your playstyle is skill training. This is a passive process, and it continues whether you are in or out of game. As a new player, you can focus on one specific area in order to quickly reach the same level of specialization as a veteran. So be adventurous and explore new avenues of development for your character, as you can always change role and reinvent yourself if desired. If you want to fight, combat in EVE can involve solo missions against non-player adversaries, or small group skirmishes, while for some, it can even be the thrill of fleeting up with thousands of fellow pilots and battling over disputed territory. If you want to explore, then the discovery of uncharted space and ancient regions that promise riches, danger, and adventure await you. You can also engage in the business of prosperity, be it industry, mining, or even interstellar piracy. The beauty of life in New Eden is that all of these activities, and many more, can be done alone or with others. A unique in-game market, unprecedented in scale and degree of player control, is the beating heart of New Eden. Players are responsible for the manufacture of almost everything you can buy or sell. The gathering and refinement of resources, the building of ships, equipment, and even some space stations. EVE's players are core to how the universe is filled and how the economy thrives. Players in EVE can band together to form corporations where they can enrich their experience, learn new elements of gameplay, and share their wealth and goals. When these player-run corporations grow to become larger entities, they can merge with other corps to form alliances. Powerful alliances regularly compete for control and influence over large areas of space, waging wars and engaging in record-breaking battles. Even taking down well-defended, sprawling, player-built space stations. In the spirit of...
That game looks so cool, but it reminds me of a lot of those games.
It's almost been like a year, and it's still haunted him. It's still entertaining.
That wasn't that hard.
All right, take him off the table, please.
Yeah,
well done
I
to
got
both
myself
of you.
very messy.
He rolling his eyes like a bitch.
What did you say to her? What she said?
So now we're back in the present. This is him talking about the podcast with Charlie, okay?
What was
Well,
the
from
argument?
there, what she did was she tried to go on to say that I'm a hypocrite because I tell men not to get married to single moms, which is not true. I have a nuanced position, which is it works out not so good for most people, but there's nothing ethically which is wrong with that. And then went on to say that she had slept with 10 guys and she's in her early 20s, right? She slept with 10 guys, and that's okay because is there. And so basically hides the crime. And so what my wife should have done is just have a series of abortions.
So I'm going to give you guys the details. Andrew's got a wife. She's had kids in multiple different marriages before him. He married her. People constantly call him a cuck for it. Andrew's got a fan base that ranges from the red pill to like a white nationalist or Christian nationalist.
Yeah.
And that's like the array. He's often in red pill spaces. A lot of people will find out about the situation with his marriage, shit on him for it. But that's like the background for this guy.
Clipped this up out of context, right, and put it out there as though I was having some kind of meltdown.
Clearly not.
Rewatching that just now, it doesn't look like a meltdown to me. And you lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What does that
You're a
mean?
fucking dick. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did I
daddies?
just say?
Wife with the 3
Sorry,
baby
I'm
daddies?
sorry, dick. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
So in Andrew's world, that's not crashing out, okay? I'm not making any aspersions. I'm just playing the clip for y'all. Y'all make your own decisions, all right? Unbiased 2026. I'm lying. Don't matter.
So I was like, how? What's the hypocrisy?
Yeah.
What's wrong with a Christian dating a woman who has children? And apparently the perceived hypocrisy is that, well, you tell men that that's a low value woman or that they can't be loved. And I'm like, I've never said any of that shit. What the hell are you talking about? But you can't figure out how it's disparaging.
It's disparaging because it goes against the worldview that you
What goes against my worldview?
You say gnarly things about promiscuous women and that they're disgusting.
That's not promiscuity.
You say 3 baby daddies? Yes, that's promiscuous.
Wait a second. Help me out here. How many different partners have you had?
It's certainly under 10.
Yeah, and she has 3 long-term relationships, and I'm one of them. Okay, Chuck, can you tell me which one of you are promiscuous?
God damn. I didn't know we were playing Who. Welcome to another episode of Who's a Hoe? Damn, man.
I'm not crashing out. Why would you say I'm crashing out? It's not. I'm just defending my wife with the multiple baby daddies. And you a bitch. You a dyke. You a man who's a lesbian. And you eat schniz. Now I'm going to ask you guys the question. Y'all on the dating market, got a choice between 2 partners, one with 2 former marriages, multiple kids, or one who slept with 10 people. Who do you feel is more irresponsible or a risk? And like, I don't even adhere to this worldview, okay? That's his worldview, that's his world. That's a traditional red belt. I'm gonna choose a partner who got 10, 15, 20. Girl can have 30 bodies. Multiple baby daddies is a whole different ball game. And it's not even to disparage anyone, but he's out here, and his wife is not like a private person. She's a public person. She puts out books. She actually joins the debate at one point and starts shit talking to girls. She's actually donating throughout the live stream, talking crazy. So I want to make it clear, I'm not here to talk about no wife. His wife is a public content creator with books out and talks a lot, okay? I don't care how they carry their life, but they're very judgmental people. And when you peer behind the curtain every single time, there's nothing traditional about it. Forget to open the pickle jar, which is fucking funny.
That's just a side quest. That's funny. All the only thing you had to do was open the pickle. Failed.
I'm be honest with you, that side quest gave him legendary armor. That was a crazy side quest. Him trying to shame her or be like, you're less than mine. I don't even like doing that kind of stuff. But if we were, literally nobody on this planet is choosing your wife over the other girl. Let's be honest. And it's nothing even to do with like misogyny. It's like, when you're dating somebody with kids and with different people, it's a lot of headache. It's a lot of coordinating with these people. It's a lot of connections, a lot of tethering. Him sitting there trying to really debate this stuff. And I think she asked a valid question, which is like, if I'm one of your viewers and you're trying to sell me on your worldview and you're living an exact lifestyle that I would never want to live, why would I ever want to follow your example? And Andrew might say, well, my lifestyle might be disgusting, but it doesn't mean that what I'm saying is wrong. And that's fair. But he doesn't say that.
No, he's got ego.
His lifestyle's amazing. His life is the best.
Siri's dictation was driving me crazy, so I switched to Whisperflow. Here's why I'll never go back. First off, it actually gets it right. Watch what Siri does with this. Can you share the mirror board, export the concepts to Figma, and update the timeline in Airtable? No wait, Jira. Actually, never mind, use Asana instead. Siri keeps all this mess, misspells the names, and never adds any punctuation. Whisperflow always gets it perfect. Second, smart formatting. I can say grocery list, eggs, yogurt, bread, bananas, and Flow formats it into an actual list with bullet points. Siri, just a block of text. This
Now Andrew Wilson's wife calls in.
So let's go there. Where did you get the idea that I'm promiscuous?
I would say that I think that having children with multiple men is, I think that is more significant than.
Okay, well, I think it would be if, and I know why people assume this. I do understand why people assume it. They're just wrong in their assumptions. It would be wrong if I had been sleeping with lots of people, if I had been carelessly getting pregnant with random people. That's not the case. I've spent my entire adult life only in 3 long-term committed relationships. Assumption, but the truth is, I'm not promiscuous. I have an extremely low body count. I've never had one-night stands. I've never cheated on anyone.
You know what's the most cringe thing about these whole clips? Is that they're ardently defending their sexual history to random people.
Yeah.
That's the saddest part.
When you make your marketing around that, you have to defend it. It does not matter. I repeat, it does not matter. But of course you do have to defend it because in their case, where they build their marketing over that, it's going to matter if it makes no sense and you kind of defend it.
Yep.
That's why they defend it so hard.
That's why he gets bothered whenever he gets called a non-traditional man or he gets called a weak man. He's trying to see himself in this idea of a traditional man. But a lot of the attitudes that he purveys online, his behavior, none of that reflects it. You know, the most pathetic part about it, and the only reason why the pickle video is like actually meaningful, is you're watching this man who's trying to, parade himself as a traditional man. And he's making all these pathetic excuses about something so meaningless. And you're watching his ego flare out. And he's arguing with this young 20-year-old woman and be like, it's your fucking fault. You agree. He doesn't even know. But he's immediately jumping to blaming her for the fact that he's too fucking weak to open the pickle jar. And then even in these clips, you're watching him and his wife justify themselves. I only slept with 3 people. I could look at you right afterwards and say, well, you should have chose better. Why are you having kids with 2 other motherfuckers and getting married and divorced? It seems like you're a fucking loser to me because you don't know how to choose the right person to get married. Not only did you make that mistake once, you made it twice. And most people never get that chance. I could do that. But I don't actually care about this kind of stuff. They care. And what makes them look like losers is their excuses. It's their coming back and being like, my wife has only got 2 baby daddies. You look stupid trying to defend yourself.
People are questioning it because first, you've been living a lie. All this thing that she was boasting, it's not true. Not only you're discovered as a liar, and we find out that you cannot live all that life, and also your theory is a lie. It's a double whammy, triple whammy.
Yeah. Like, genuinely, what's traditional about getting online and yapping about how many bodies your partner has? And that's the problem. All these motherfuckers, they always parade a lifestyle that none of them live up to. And not only they don't live up to it in the most pathetic ways. 100%. Well, I think that he's a piece of shit for taking a woman who's had multiple. No, children need fathers, and if you believe in a nuclear family, it's a good thing that someone's stepping up to take care of them. Now, maybe y'all be like, that's pathetic. That's fine. But I'm not going to denigrate someone for making that choice. But if you're the motherfucker who makes that choice, and then you get all on your soapbox and shit talk other people's relationship, everything is fair game. And for him to act like, oh, she got personal, motherfucker. Called her too stupid
from the back.
Too stupid to understand your worldview.
From the jump, you call her stupid.
I hate these motherfuckers who mean to other people, and then when people show them even 1/10 of energy, and then you're gonna get on a podcast with other grown ass men and lie about the whole thing. It's like, bro, you in your 40s. You're like, grow the fuck up.
You're not going to believe what happened. Tell me everything. I'll show you on Monday.com. So I started the biggest initiative of the quarter. I did everything right. I used AI blocks to list all the tasks, delegate them to the team, set up all the timelines. It even wrote perfect descriptions, so everything was crystal clear. Clearly, you're a professional. Thank you. Suddenly, I get a message from leadership saying we need to finish the project a month before deadline. Happens every time. Good thing we have Monday.com. We just reshaped all the timelines, brought in freelancers to help, gave them some guest accounts. They had everything organized so they could just jump right in. We put up all the assets, waited for management to approve. Done. Everyone automatically got notified. We ended up reaching our goals 2 days before schedule, and even under budget. We beat our projections for the quarter, everyone cheered for us, and I ended up being a hero.
Wow, that's amazing.
When you use money.com, work is just easier. Isn't that nice?
That's really nice,
It is
honestly.
nice.
Enjoy the little things.
Yeah.
Create your own personal success story on the first work platform you'll love to use, Monday.com.
I'd actually been waiting all day long for my Hungry order and it just got here. So it's all in the box. I figured we could take it out together, kind of do like a little grocery haul. Of course, Hungry is sponsoring today's video and I love them so much and I tell you about them every time that I do one of these. They've just been such a lifesaver when it comes to like just having food already in my fridge and my pantry. I've been telling you guys on Instagram just like what a pain ordering groceries has been lately. Between like just having all the kids and the noise, like to place any kind of food order takes 500 years and I'm like trying to think of like what ingredients do I need or what do I already have, and it's just like a pain in the butt. So when I get an order from Hungry Root, it makes me so happy because it's like one less thing that I have to think about. If you're new around here and you don't know what Hungry Root is, it's basically just like a personal shopper for groceries, for recipes. Go on their website and you can take a quiz and like answer a bunch of questions that helps them get to know like what you're looking for in terms of foods and stuff. If you have any particular diet, if you're gluten-free, if you're vegan, like any diet restriction.
This comes from a cop who gets stopped by a cop, and I like this.
Hi, how are you? Good. Everything okay? Yep. Can I get your name and badge number? For what? What? For what? What do you need?
So I know who I'm making a complaint against.
For what?
For speeding.
Speeding?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have you recorded doing 80 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone. No headlights, no sirens, nonchalantly. Apparently you drive like that all the time. So I wanted to film hypocrisy at its finest.
Okay. License, registration, proof insurance.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Because now you're in.
No, I'm
Yes.
doing nothing. If you're going to start this shit, you get your sergeant over here.
License,
Get
registration,
your sergeant over here.
license,
Get your sergeant over here.
license,
You
registration.
ain't getting shit from me.
Then now you're obstructing. And
No, I'm
taking
not.
it down.
Obstruction is a physical.
No, it's not.
Look, dude, you better get your sergeant out here.
Now you're
Okay?
verbally assaulting
Get your
me.
sergeant out here.
License, registration,
Hey,
proof
I
insurance.
can do that. I can tell you to that's the First Amendment. If you got a problem, get your sergeant out here.
Yes. Yes, you can. You can't scream it loud. You can't fucking belt it because now you're just being loud and being reckless, and now they could charge you for that. But yeah, you could tell the sergeant to fuck you. Now, is he gonna really act wonderfully after that? No. So it's to your own discretion. I wouldn't tell you to do that. But yeah, technically he's right, and he's also saying that and doing all those things because he knows what he got. He's got an ace.
So for everyone watching, this cop didn't pull this guy over. He was already pulled over on the side of the road, and the cop moved up to his car and now is asking for license. And to my knowledge, unless they saw you committing a crime or you're involved in something or they suspect you of, they can't just pull up beside a parked car and ask for your license and registration.
It depends where you are, and recently, like for example, the province of Quebec, we have this article called Article 636, which meant that they could pull you over for anything. And
yes,
now
and they can cavity search you.
I'm sorry? Huh? No, not cavity search you, but they anyways, yeah, the 636 is just they could pull you over for no reason.
I'm asking for your sergeant for the last time.
And I'm asking
Get
for
your sergeant out here. Well, you ain't getting my shit. You ain't getting my shit. You ain't getting nothing.
Okay, then I will arrest you for obstruction.
You do that, buddy, and I'll sue the out of Adams County.
Step out. Step out.
You better get I want a sergeant here.
Step out.
I want a sergeant
Step
here.
out, and you're gonna get tased.
Yes, come and get tased. I have a weapon right there.
I can't wait for the big reveal.
You have a CCW? Yes, I do.
Yeah, he's a Denver cop, or he's a Denver cop.
And I know my rights too, buddy.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Want to get me out of the road here so I don't get run over?
Thank you for being compliant. Really appreciate it. Let me just check it. He said I was doing 85 and a 65, and he's just recording hypocrisy at its best. So then I asked him for his license registration because he pulled up on my traffic stop. So I was dealing with him second, and he wouldn't give it to me because he's a Denver cop and he knows his law, his rights.
Is he retired?
I don't know. I didn't even see. I just saw he was a Denver cop.
Kind of hard.
Denver Reserve. So how exactly did he obstruct? Well, that's what we got to clarify. Well, I'm trying to get it. He came up here.
Have you ever have a dream that you have it started skate? It started skate. Have you ever seen Bambi when he was just born? The legs were shaky. All right.
Anyone who's looking for a simple way to start a business, Taylor Brands is the way to go. From forming the LLC EIN number, opening that business bank account, taxes and bookkeeping, and licenses and permits, all in one platform.
Subscriptions I was no longer using or had forgotten I even ever had. Well, today's sponsor Rocket Money is here to help. Rocket Money is an all-in-one personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better. I've been using Rocket Money to cancel my unwanted subscriptions and lower my overall monthly bills. Once you connect your bank account, Rocket Money identifies all of your subscriptions in a single list. From there, you can select the ones you don't want anymore, and Rocket Money may be able to help you cancel with just a few taps. Rocket Money will also automatically scan your bills to find savings. With just a couple of taps, Rocket Money can negotiate your bills for you, from internet service to cable and phone bills. No need to worry about customer service calls. Let the app's negotiators go to work for you to try to get you the best possible rate. They've also helped customers save over $880 million in canceled subscriptions. So if you'd like to save more, Buzz. Introduction page 3 describes how a group informally known as the Dark Crusaders, led in part by Bill Cosby, had long opposed the creative direction of Chappelle's show, believing it reinforced damaging racial stereotypes and, in Cosby's words, was, quote, setting race relations back 50 years. Despite voicing concerns to Dave Chappelle for 2 years, they couldn't sway his comedic approach. When Chappelle signed a $50 million deal, guaranteeing massive attention for season 3, the group saw it as a crisis point. Meeting secretly at Atlanta's Omni Hotel in August, they drafted a detailed 5-point plan, funded, coordinated, and using any means necessary to prevent the third season from ever airing, setting up the narrative of Chappelle's eventual fall from grace. Introduction pages 5, 6, and 7 introduce us to the Dark Crusaders, describing the members as an ad hoc organization whose members were all an integral part of Dave Chappelle's early life and career. The group known as the Dark Crusaders came together to sabotage Chappelle's career because they felt the material on Chappelle's show was not reflecting well on the black community. Using a mix of measures, the Dark Crusaders achieved its primary goal, the cancellation of Chappelle's show's third season, and the near crippling of Chappelle's comedy career. According to the site, the members of the Dark Crusaders were the following: Al Sharpton, infamous and controversial former mayoral, congressional, and presidential candidate, civil rights activist, reparations advocate, Pentecostal minister. Connection to Chappelle, was a rabid fan of stand-up comedy who took an early liking to Chappelle and offered support and encouragement early on in his career. Jesse Jackson, former Martin Luther King confidant and presidential candidate, founder of the Rainbow Coalition and prominent civil rights leader for over 40 years. Connection to Chappelle, friend of Chappelle's mother, Yvonne Cerrone, and has known Chappelle since he moved to Washington, D.C. with his mother after his parents' divorce. Louis Farrakhan, leader of the African American Nation of Islam, founder of the Million Man March, and former confidant of both Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X. Rumored to have been involved with the assassination of Malcolm X, has elicited controversy by espousing his views that the white race was invented by an evil scientist named Yakub in one of the craters on the dark side of the moon. Connection to Chappelle, has advised Chappelle on spiritual matters related to the Islamic faith. Bill Cosby, Philadelphia-born star of I Spy, Fat Albert, and The Cosby Show, purveyor of respectable black family television, and he did some other stuff too. Some pretty bad stuff, really bad stuff. Connection to Chappelle, helped secure the role of Achu in Mel Brooks' Robin Hood Men in Tights for Chappelle. Advised Chappelle against taking the role of Bubba in the film Forrest Gump. Whoopi Goldberg portrayed Guinan, bartender of the 10 Forward Lounge aboard the Starship Enterprise in the hit television show Star Trek: The Next Generation. Connection to Chappelle, gave Chappelle one of his early breaks when she offered him the chance to appear on Comic Relief in 1994. Oprah Winfrey, billionaire talk show host and the most powerful woman in show business. Also not the best judge of character. Look up John of God if you don't know who that is. Connection to Chappelle. Worked briefly with Chappelle when he was an extra on the set of The Woman of Brewster Place, and offered mentoring early on in his career. Robert L. Johnson, founder of BET, the first black-controlled company to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange, first black owner of a major sports franchise, the NBA's Charlotte Bobcats, served on the board of US Airways, Hilton Hotels, and General Mills. Connection to Chappelle. Used his influence in corporate America to help broker deals for Chappelle to be the pitchman for both Pepsi and Coca-Cola at different times in his career. And with the alleged members of the Dark Crusaders laid out, we can now dive into the theory. The first episode of Chappelle's Show aired on January 22nd, 2003. It was a lightly promoted 30-minute show that Comedy Central executives hoped would perform as well as earlier shows, such as Strangers with Candy or The Man Show. The budget and stars were modest. Chappelle's biggest success up until this time had been the cult stoner comedy Half Baked, and his expectations were modest. Chappelle was looking forward to the show's debut, but was nonplussed about its chances for success. Clearly, neither Comedy Central or Chappelle had any inkling of the impact Chappelle's Show would have on pop culture. Theory page 2. The first episode featured the blind, black, white supremacist character Clayton Bigsby. One of the viewers that night was Bill Cosby, an old friend of Chappelle's, and he was not pleased. The second episode featured Tyrone Biggums, a crackhead that lectures at a school during Drug Awareness Week, during which he says that dog food is delicious and that he is for crack. Once again, Cosby was watching, and he was absolutely livid over Chappelle's portrayal of the black community. He was beginning to think about sending Chappelle some kind of message about the show's outrageous tone. The third episode poked fun of Roots, a 1977 miniseries based on a book depicting the struggles of African slaves in the 19th century, a series held sacred by many African American baby boomers. Soon after the airing of this show, a friend of Minister Louis Farrakhan recalled a heated phone call discussion between Farrakhan and Cosby. It appeared that, already upset from having seen Chappelle's Show before, Cosby had been pushed over the edge and decided to seek out help from his influential friends. Chappelle's Show was picking up steam in the ratings. Episode 4 fantasizing about what would happen if black people received reparations. A ghetto hustler named Tron supplants Bill Gates as the world's richest man, and stock market prices for fried chicken related companies surge. It's about this time that Al Sharpton, a longtime fan of Chappelle, noticed the show's growing popularity, and he began writing concerned letters to his contemporaries about Chappelle. Episode 6 of Chappelle's Show featured the sketch It's a Mad Real World, a take on MTV's Real World series. In the Chappelle version, a white suburban male rooms with 6 black inner city youth and is terrorized throughout his stay. Robert L. Johnson, alerted by the rumblings coming from the Cosby, Farrakhan, and Sharpton camps, decided to tune into this episode to see what Chappelle had been doing that was getting so many black leaders rankled. After this episode, he agreed with the others and decided to get involved with them in potentially taking measures to interfere with Chappelle. Theory, March 2003. Episode 8 of Chappelle's Show saw the re-emergence of Tyrone Biggums. After the show's conclusion, a reportedly furious Cosby got Farrakhan and Al Sharpton, who he had heard were also concerned about Chappelle's effect on the African American community, on a conference call. The 3 men decided to meet for lunch at Farrakhan's Chicago residence to discuss what action to take. Episode 8 also featured the Player Haters Ball and a character named Silky making derogatory remarks about Rosie O'Donnell, which was brought to Oprah Winfrey's attention after O'Donnell mentioned the remark while lunching with Winfrey at the Palm in West Hollywood the next day. Winfrey, who had supported Chappelle early on, had her staff get a tape of Chappelle's Show so she could take a look at the sketch. She was appalled at the subject's Chappelle mind for humor, and immediately began calling friends in the black entertainment and business communities to see what they thought of the show's content. The season's 10th episode features the R. Kelly on You video. This controversial sketch ignited a world of criticism and, unsurprisingly, caught the attention of Bill Cosby once again. In a call on March 27th, Cosby voiced his concerns directly to Chappelle. In an aside to a coworker, Chappelle reported telling Cosby how he was thankful for his insight, but while the show was riding a wave of acclaim, he didn't want to tinker with a successful formula. He believed Cosby was just overreacting and didn't think much of the phone call. On April 1st, 2003, Oprah Winfrey and Bill Cosby were were seen dining together in Philadelphia, where Cosby voiced his frustration over failing to persuade Dave Chappelle to change the direction of Chappelle's show. Oprah reportedly agreed that she shared similar concerns. During the long dinner, they discussed ways to quietly pressure Chappelle into altering the show's content. Oprah offered to contact others who had expressed worries to her as well. This was the informal creation of the group that would later be known as the Dark Crusaders. The first
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a
Don't do it,
The season
y'all.
finale
Fuck
of
the
Chappelle's
AI
Show aired on
websites.
April 9th, 2003, featuring a sketch spoofing the popularity of mate swap reality television programs. It revolved around a black family and a white family trading spouses, and plays on long-held stereotypes about black male virility, while willfully promoting racial miscegenation. Louis Farrakhan, most likely under the direction of Cosby, sought out the opportunity to speak with Chappelle. Farrakhan, who had advised Chappelle on his conversion to Islam in 1998, visited Chappelle on location days after the episode aired. His concerns fell on deaf ears, as Chappelle was resistant to pressure to tone down the show's content. With Chappelle's show on hiatus before production for season 2 commenced, Chappelle took some downtime at his Ohio area farm. It was here that he received a strange package. As told by Dave himself, at around noon, in the middle of an early season Cincinnati Reds game, there was a knock at his door. Chappelle was a bit concerned as no one except his close family and friends were aware of where he was. When he opened the door, all he found was a crudely wrapped package with the inscription, "For Chappelle." Inside the package was a voodoo doll-style replica of Chappelle dressed as Clayton Bigsby, the African-American Klansman from his first show. The doll was riddled with safety pins and had a noose tied sharply around his neck. Accompanying the doll was a message in a childlike scrawl that read, "What you're doing is hurting the African-American community. It needs to stop." Chappelle was extremely bothered by the development, but later chalked it up to a local group of black nationalists, probably some college kids from Antioch, a nearby university, looking for kicks. Though Chappelle was unaware of it at the time, this was the first assault by the Dark Crusaders, aimed at shutting down his comedy career. About 2 months later, on July 4th, 2003, while enjoying a holiday weekend with his wife at the Four Seasons in Santa Barbara, Chappelle alerted the staff that he received a late-night phone call to his room that told him, "If you know what's good for you, you'll stop using your show to denigrate African Americans." While telling his wife about the package he received in Ohio, Chappelle began to think that maybe the voodoo doll package was not an isolated incident, but part of a larger, coordinated campaign. Shaken by the phone call, he stayed awake with his wife and executives of the hotel for the rest of the night. In late August of 2003, as Chappelle began production on the second season of Chappelle's Show, strange things started to occur. Scripts for the sketches began disappearing, featured players weren't showing up on set, and illnesses were plaguing key members of the crew. Additionally, Chappelle voiced his concern to one of the extras of the show that one of the replacement cameramen looked like the Nation of Islam bodyguards Farrakhan had with him when he visited the set earlier in the year. Upon confronting him, Chappelle learned that the replacement cameraman was originally from Chicago, was a fellow Muslim, and was a member of Farrakhan's congregation. After this incident, Chappelle confided in cast member Charlie Murphy and head writer Neil Brennan that he thought some powerful black people are out to get him to tone down the show's content, and that they may have infiltrated the set. Both told him not to worry, that it's just the pressure getting to him, but personally, both worried that the pressure to succeed may have been getting to Chappelle, and expressed concern to other crew members. On September 15th, Chappelle took a break from his rigorous shooting schedule. In Washington, D.C., and decided to catch a movie with his mother. Shortly after the movie started, witnesses reported a man who looked like Al Sharpton taking a seat behind Chappelle and his mother. When Chappelle's mother excused herself to go to the bathroom, Sharpton was seen moving into the seat beside Chappelle. When Chappelle's mother excused herself to go to the bathroom, Sharpton was seen moving into the seat beside Chappelle. Dave would later recount what Sharpton had whispered. "I didn't appreciate the mockery directed at reparations in the last season's shows. You should be ashamed of selling out the community for cheap laughs and ratings." Sharpton was seen quickly leaving the theater immediately after. When Chappelle told his mother about this upon her return, she was in disbelief. She asked if he was feeling alright, and if the pressure of success was getting to him. She then offered to take him to see her psychiatrist. It was around this time, and understandably so, that Chappelle began to sink deep into paranoia. In January of 2004, with the debut of Chappelle's Show's second season growing closer, Dave began receiving phone calls at all hours of the day when he was in his family's house all alone. The phone calls said the same thing: tone down the show or you will have to go. When Chappelle contacted the local police department and phone company in an attempt to trace the calls, they reported that they had no record of the calls ever being made. When Chappelle confided in his wife that he thought he was being targeted by a group of powerful black showbiz folks and politicians, she told him to relax, that he's acting crazy, and that he should relax and enjoy his success. With everyone in Chappelle's life doubting his sanity, it was only a matter of time before the media started to report Chappelle acting strangely. On January 21st, 2004, season 2 of Chappelle's Show aired, in which, of course, the show continued to satirize racial stereotypes and contemporary racial issues, to the audience's delight. After the show played, Chappelle was seen having dinner with friends at Pastis, in New York City's fashionable meatpacking district. When he tried to pick up the tab, embarrassingly, he found out that his credit card had been rejected. He tried several other credit cards and found that surprisingly, they were rejected too. After his last credit card was declined, Chappelle received a call on his cell phone. Chappelle confided to his friends that the voice on the line advised him, "This is only the beginning if you don't do what we want. Try your credit cards now." Chappelle, clearly rattled, told the waitstaff to run his credit card once more. When it went through, Chappelle began to realize the seriousness of the situation. Despite what appeared to be a growing conspiracy against him, Chappelle forged ahead with his show, refusing to rewrite skits. The sketches were hilarious and would never be allowed to air on TV in today's climate. And if you've not found any of this unbelievable thus far, this next bit will certainly shock you. According to the site, on a Tuesday, while watching an episode of The Oprah Winfrey Show, Chappelle recalled being completely stunned when Winfrey turned to the camera in the middle of interviewing Tom Cruise and said, "Dave Chappelle, you should be ashamed of yourself for airing that sketch on your show this week. I'm going to make sure you never work in Hollywood again." The image, allegedly taped by Winfrey and transmitted to Chappelle's house under the direction of Robert L. Johnson, who called in some favors with Chappelle's local affiliate station manager, terrified Chappelle. At that time, he considered telling the show's cast and producers what was happening to him, but decided against it. He feared it would alienate him from his staff, making them think he was delusional, which, by that point, Chappelle was fairly certain that he was. On February 11th, the catchphrase, "I'm Rick James, bitch," made its debut on the show. What was once a somewhat successful cult television show was now a full-blown phenomenon. Season 1 DVD sales began to blow up, and Chappelle's Q rating soared. This caused the Dark Crusaders to really turn on the pressure, most likely sensing their window of opportunity to silence Chappelle was fast closing. They convened at Oprah Winfrey's Chicago production offices to coordinate yet another assault on Dave. February 18th, 2004. The next episode of Chappelle's Show aired, and it once again featured the Tyrone Biggums crackhead character. All was quiet in the life of Chappelle after this show. No reports of harassing phone calls or strange packages delivered to his house. No message from Oprah arriving via television. To Chappelle, it appeared that the Dark Crusaders had stopped. But soon he would find out it was just the eye of the hurricane. What laid in store for him next would be worse than anything that came before. March 3rd, 2004. After a relative lull in their campaign against Chappelle, the Dark Crusaders came back with a vengeance. That week's Chappelle Show featured a sketch that parodied anti-drug commercials and shows a little girl on a bike being hit by a car of stoned teenagers. In this rendition, however, Dave and his crew hit the kid, freak out, and then decide to chop her body up and stuff her remains down a drain. This is perhaps the raunchiest skit ever to appear on the show, Dave's way of thumbing his nose at his harassers, saying no, he won't back down. After the show aired, Chappelle began to notice that he was being shadowed by a group of 3 large, crisply attired African-American gentlemen. Wherever he went, they never seemed far behind. He asked his family and close friends if they noticed this too, but they never seemed to catch a glimpse of the men. This reached its apex when Chappelle emerged from the shower one morning to find the 3 men sitting in his bathroom. By Chappelle's account, they told him, "If we can get into your home this easily, David, imagine what we can do to you if we really wanted to hurt you. If you don't tone down your show, maybe the next time we're in your bathroom, we'll be waiting for your wife or children to get out of the shower, not you." Chappelle was found on the bathroom floor by his wife several hours later, most likely having fainted due to shock. When he tried to relate the story to her, she immediately called for an ambulance, thinking, and rightfully so, that her husband was having a nervous breakdown. The incident was hushed up by Chappelle's agent, who was in negotiations with Comedy Central to produce a 3rd season of Chappelle's Show. March 10th, 2004. Figuring that he had nothing left to lose, Chappelle went ahead with his decision to air a sketch he knew would be patently offensive to everyone everyone that was after him, as well as catering to the base taste of his white middle-class audience. The sketch, called I Know Black People, centered around Chappelle asking people who claim to know black people comedic questions about black culture. Chappelle knew there would be retribution for this, but at that point, he probably figured if he was going to go down, he was going down fighting. The next day, a friend recounted a frantic phone call from Dave at 2 p.m. He described the following story of the previous night, which his friend assumed at the time to be a dream. I was in bed next to my wife when I got woken up by a heavy pressure on my chest. I opened my eyes to find one of the 3 men that appeared in my bathroom days before, perched on top of my stomach, wielding a Colt 45 handgun with an enormous silencer. The other 2 men were holding me down. It seemed like my wife had been drugged, as she laid motionless but breathing next to me. Oprah Winfrey leaned forward and whispered in my ear, "You better watch your step. We're representing interests more powerful than you can imagine. You do remember that Farrakhan killed Malcolm, and that Cosby, Johnson, and I have more money than God. We can keep this harassment up forever. Is this what you want your life to be like, Dave?" The last thing I remember, someone knocked me out. I woke up with my wife the next morning, and I thought it might have been a dream, but I still have a bruise on my head, and I really think all of this happened, despite the fact that my wife shows no signs of anything having ever happened. Chappelle.
Here's how developers at Perplexity and NVIDIA are prompting AI 10 times faster. You're prompting Cursor over 100 times a day, but typing detailed context takes forever. So you send lazy prompts, and you get mediocre results. I've been there and it's not fun. Let me show you how I changed my entire dev workflow. I use Whisperflow to dictate.
Chappelle then said he was afraid to tell his wife this story because he was nervous that she would call the ambulance again. He told his agent he felt like he needed bodyguards, but his agent advised against it for fear that it would make him look too paranoid and jeopardize his career. Since it seemed like he could get no outside help, he decided to take matters into his own hands. March 24th, 2004. On the next show, Chappelle decided to attack Oprah directly, as he now knew she was behind all of the harassment. The skit, called Dave Gets Oprah Pregnant, centered around Dave getting a call from Oprah informing him that she is going to have his baby. After hearing the news, Dave quits his job and moves in with Oprah, spending her money like it's going out of style. Chappelle felt like he had the leverage to get away with this, as Winfrey wouldn't want her involvement to unseat Chappelle made public. He soon realized his leverage wasn't as strong as he thought. Nothing seemed to happen immediately following the airing of that show. Like before, things seemed oddly quiet. Chappelle began to noticeably gain more confidence on the set, and grew a bit more comfortable with the situation, despite all that had happened so far. April 7th, 2004. Chappelle again decided to send a message through his show's material by opening with a sketch called Dave Quits Chappelle Show. The sketch had him doing exactly what his antagonists wanted him to do, stepping down from the show. In the sketch, executives at Comedy Central replaced Dave with Wayne Brady. The show ended with a sketch that has Wayne Brady acting like the thugs Chappelle's characters often portray on the show, with Wayne killing police officers, beating Chappelle, and partaking of copious amounts of drugs. Dave, after this episode's production, reached out to Brady, who he knew was a close friend of Oprah's, to see if he could intercede on his behalf. Brady acted like he didn't know what Chappelle was talking about, and as Dave recounted later, looked at me as if I was nuts. Chappelle failed yet again at reaching out for help. On April 14th, 2004, technically the season finale aired, as the following 2 episodes were compilations of season 2 sketches. Chappelle treaded lightly during this episode. Constant harassment had a deep psychological impact on him. Sketches included the first black man to use a white toilet, which poked fun at black historical figures, and more insight into the life of Little John. According to a stagehand after the show, when Chappelle returned to his dressing room, he found a package containing pictures of Malcolm X, Biggie Smalls, Tupac Shakur, and himself, with the words, "You're next," scrawled.